There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo! Here we go again with another episode of the Yonkō Table. I'm your host, Yonkō, DrJaceAttorney, and we are here to talk about Loki episode 3. But with me, as always, before we dive deep into this episode, I have fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop with a very interesting background. I like that background because it no longer exists. But how have you been, Grandmaster?
Well, real quick, time is an illusion and a myth. So therefore, not at every point in time, but the Rainbow Bridge still exists. Either way, I digress. I'm doing well, Dr. Jace. Thank you for asking. Glad to be back at the table. I don't know if I'm glad to be back.
You're not glad to be back?
I had a good day. It's just, I usually look forward to these. And I feel, we'll get into it, but I don't have the same excitement as before for some of our episodes, but I'm here. I'm a trooper, and I'll give it my best, but it is what it is. So I'm okay. I'm okay today.
We'll power through it. Don't worry. You have 5 other members here to help you along the way.
Cool.
So let's get to introducing them. We have Supernova Rose the Crafter. Rose, how have you been?
I'm doing good. I'm back at the table, and we're gonna eat today, like always.
You're gonna eat today, like always. That's right. Maybe not as much with this. You know what? we'll get into it. Next up, we got Supernova Darce. Darce, how have you been, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. This is it's a scrappy meal, but we're gonna make it work.
We will.
What is going on everybody's appetite today? Jeez.
It's sour.
It's sour, and we will talk about it.
There's been a lot of other stuff that's been filling us up. So
right, my thoughts exactly. Next up, Supernova Toasty. Toasty, how have you been, my man?
I had a great day, but somebody recommended a bad product to me, so I have to struggle to fix that. Thank you a lot.
Get that fixed, man.
But apart from that, having a great day. Have a little bit of a headache, but I'm okay apart from that.
Hopefully this episode doesn't make that headache worse because, the episode was so good.
It was a good episode. I'm happy to talk about it.
Obviously. All right. Next up, we got new up-and-coming Supernova Philos. Philos, how have you been?
What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on, fellas? Glad to be here. Glad for the invitation. Super Marvel fan. So I'm just glad to be around gentlemen that share the same like-minded. So I'm excited to be here.
Nice. It's really a shame that you have to make this your debut episode. We would love to have you in future ones, but this is the one you choose.
There's a lot of subtle surprises that I like about this episode. So we'll get into that.
Okay.
There we go. Somebody with an appetite. Thank you.
Said subtle.
Positive.
Sometimes you have to eat your greens.
He doesn't want subtle. He wants grandiose.
I do. You're absolutely right. But these subtle images or subtle things that happen in the episode is definitely gonna bring some light.
Gotcha.
The meat and potatoes, I think.
The meat and all right. And I take it you're mainly a Marvel fan, right? You're really into the TV shows, the movies, stuff like that.
Correct. Me and my wife watch it faithfully, so she can't be on here, but she'll give you a thing or two too.
Oh, she can't be on. All right. I ain't gonna say. I'm not gonna mention that you said that. I ain't trying to get you in trouble.
No. You good.
Okay.
All right. I think there's a common consensus here for the most part, but hey, I guess I'll smash through the ice. I'm not gonna break this. I'm gonna smash right through it. This episode of Loki was ass. I didn't like it. Like, it had good moments. It had nuggets of like, oh wow, that's really cool. I didn't know the stuff about the TVA, which we'll get into later. But overall, this episode, it didn't really progress much, in my opinion. It was more or less trudging along, really relying on you liking Loki's charisma and his banter with other characters. And it's, I don't know, man. It just, this being the mid-season, I think I talked about it earlier with Grandmaster, this being the mid-season finale in a way. It's not really a finale because, we got an episode next week. It's not like we're going to have a break, but this is mid-season, and I feel like the train, well, there was a train in this episode. The train is running low on its fuel. It's coal. I'm not as excited as I was day one with Loki. Kind of just going along. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to throw it on the table. Is anyone more positive than me on this one?
I have to add my input here. Like, I understand because I was the same exact way. But after like thinking about the episode and kind of like diving into some little bit of research, we all know that Loki's a trickster, man. Like, maybe this episode was a setup for something he's been planning like the whole time, like an inception type of inception, like tricking Lady Loki into opening up more,
thinking a trick that, within a trick.
A trick within a trick.
Don't do
okay.
this.
Come on, you have to understand that this is where Loki was his prime as far as coming out of trying to conquer Earth. So he still has that drive. He still has that drive. This is not the Loki where we're seeing movies, down the line where he's developed and stuff like that. He still has his desire to conquer. And so like, I think even in that episode, I think it's the last one where he's like, wow, this is the ultimate power of universe. Like, this is the most powerful thing in the universe. And so I think that's what he's trying to like manipulate and open doors for. But that's just my thing. I have a little bit more of I think subtle things they input into the episode, like, oh man, like everybody in the TVA are variants. I think that was kind of like a little thing that they need to expand upon.
But is it enough though? Is it enough?
I mean, that was like the one good thing, like I thought from the episode. I was like, oh wow, that's a pretty big reveal. I didn't know that.
So I mean, I did enjoy the nuggets and the little tidbits that were in there that kind of leads to the next thing. But it's just like, it wasn't terrible, but it's just like, we're in the middle of the season now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I really hope you're right that it's a trick within a trick, because that's the only thing to salvage it a little bit for me. If we go into the next episode and everything that we thought was not what we thought. They took a detour from the whole crime thing this time. I wasn't mad at the fact that they did that. It's just the execution. I mean, did we need 40 minutes or 30 something minutes to get some of the answers that we got by the end? Did we really feel like the relationship was solidified or built? And they built a world. It was a lot of work. It was like budget. It was like a lot of world building, a little bit of action. But my question is what is it for? We only have 6 episodes. What is this world that they built today? This whole, like, it felt like, man, people have said like Mandalorian-ish or Doctor Who with a big budget. I've heard.
I never considered that.
It's like,
Mandalorian.
What's the point of this big world right now? I'm sure it connects to something, but it seemed more glitz and glamour than actual depth this episode. And we'll talk a little bit later about areas where they did touch on some more depth. But for me, it was just underwhelming, and I think we set the bar really high. I know last episode I said, third one's coming up. I know it's about to be something. This is about to be like the turning point. This is middle of the season. but I didn't come out. I set the bar too high, I guess. So.
I mean,
Not bad though.
And it's crazy too that they spent a lot of time like getting this place like all fleshed out, all for what? It's gonna like explode or it's gonna get destroyed by this moon that's attacking it. So it's like, is it really worth building it up? But I think that like by the end of the season, it's gonna be like an unravel episode where it's like, look at all the things Loki was doing throughout the whole series, you know? And you're gonna kind of look back and be like, oh, Loki,
it's gonna be an aha moment at the
look
end.
at you. But
I hope, man.
I hope
know,
not.
but is it worth
You
the
don't-
expense of us being like, ugh, these episodes suck, you know?
No, it's not worth it.
You don't want a 180 at the very end saying it was Loki all along that was in control.
Listen, funny enough, I've been watching Rick and Morty, and I just watched, I don't know if anyone here watches Rick and Morty.
No,
There's the
one
heist
does.
episode where,
Mhm.
you ever seen the heist episode where it's like a heist within a heist?
It's a horrible
Yeah.
episode.
That is a great episode. That was
That
my
episode's
was
amazing.
hilarious.
Are you serious?
it was
I hated
hilarious.
that
And
episode.
the convolution of, this was always part of my plan. Actually, you thought he was on your side, but I
You
actually
son of a
programmed-
bitch. I'm in.
Exactly. if that happens in Loki, then no, the buildup is not worth that big reveal for a 6-episode series. Heist films work because they're like condensed into one movie.
But is
You
that
know?
not Loki's character? Is that not what he is known for doing?
He's a trickster, and I get that, but the thing is about the Loki series, and I hate to compare it to WandaVision and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but Loki is a character we kind of had closure with, like Philos said, we watched him grow, and with that said, we don't need to watch him grow again. And we talked about this about the first episode, is that we're not watching the same Loki. We're probably not going to get to the same end point, but it's like, what's this end point going to be? And yet here we have another episode that probably just either A, doesn't move the needle forward, or just kind of leave us with more questions. The whole TVA thing, that was probably like the biggest reveal. And then on top of that too, I mean, we really didn't learn much about Lady Loki at all.
Nothing. She
there-
held her
she's-
cards close to her chest, basically.
Exactly.
And I don't know if we can even call her Lady Loki anymore.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sylvie.
Thank you.
She has a name.
Sylvie, sure.
Sylvie.
Sylvie.
She never
What's
wants to be
respect?
associated with Loki. So
Right.
Never.
I mean, it's
I have a
the
theory on that, but we'll get back to that later.
the verdict is still out there if she's even Loki. So,
Right.
which I don't think she is. I said that last
Me
episode,
neither.
but
That's true.
and Darce technically called something first episode. So
He did. And actually, credit to what Darce was saying. Dialogue is very specific. I don't
Yep.
know. There's one word they kept repeating. Referring
Enchanted.
enchant. Yeah.
Oh, was it that?
I wanna-
I do remember the glorious purpose thing.
And
He did
then
mention it again.
he mentioned it,
He
but
mentioned it, yeah.
when she was referring to her powers, is that a subtle reference, Philos, that you noticed? The enchant.
Yeah, the enchantment thing. Like, I don't understand. Well, I do understand how. Let me put it this way. Loki said, if you recall, Loki was like, "Oh, that's a cowardly magic." I don't know if you guys remember that in the second episode. He said that's a cowardly magic when she used that enchantment thing. So then, fast forward into this episode, he's asking her questions about the enchantment like he doesn't know. So I'm like, that's why I'm
Right.
like, it might be a trick within a trick, just because if he's trying to like get her to open up, this is some of the things that you do to kind of like get people to open up. You kind of want you ask for their help.
Yeah.
And so they start to open up
Right.
more. So like, I think he knows about the enchantment thing, and maybe he might be enchanting her. He has a powerful mind. Like, that's why she
Well,
couldn't enchant him.
I think
So-
he's jealous. I think he wants that power because remember, he never had that power. He had to use the Mind Stone in order to enchant people to do his bidding. And so, like, maybe he's like, hey, I want that. It's a stupid power. Nobody wants it. How do you do it? Tell me now. Like,
The sense of control he's always sought.
Mhm. And the beginning of the episode, it opened up with it, like it opened up with her enchanting the mind of that one TSA agent, and like
TVA, he said TSA.
TVA.
Tomato,
Look, I'm about to hop on a
same
plane in a
thing.
couple of hours. I got TSA
Well,
on my mind.
she's losing her job, so she will no longer be part of the TVA. She might become TSA. So
True.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I guess we kind of touched on it right now. Were we sold on the dynamic this episode between Loki and Slyvie? Because there was no Owen Wilson this episode, so there was no ka-chow moment or anything. This new dynamic, not sold, maybe sold. Toasty, did you like this?
Honestly, yeah, I enjoyed the episode. The way I viewed it as an episode where it's building up to something, like the building up to a story, because that's the first time we got introduced to Slyvie, the one that we thought was the female Loki, and I thought it was okay. My biggest worry, however, is I hope it's not like the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, where it was great at the beginning and the middle it just stopped and we never got up again. It's just that we were cruising and then you press on the brake, and then out of nowhere for the rest of the season it was just downhill from there.
We plateaued.
We
right
plateaued
before.
early. So I'm hoping by next Wednesday they reveal more backstory about her, because she did reveal a couple more information about herself. Like they told her early on that she was adopted. So that showed that she had a different upbringing compared to Loki. She also mentioned that she ran away since she was a kid, and she was getting chased since she was a kid. So I want to know more about her. I want to know why she's doing all this. What happened to her family? Did the TVA kill her family, or is it possible that the world that she came from had a disaster and she was meant to die, so she just left and everybody else died? There's some BS
Okay.
like that. So,
That's
because she mentioned that. Yeah, she mentioned she ran away since she was a kid. I'm like, dude, why would you run if you were a kid? Like, they came after you as a kid. You must have done something, or you're not meant to exist. So that will
To
give her a
exist.
reason. Yeah, that will give her a reason to hate the TVA and want to kill them. And I don't know. I'm kind of excited. Obviously, there's a possibility that all of this is just like dumb theory and that we let down, but I don't know. I like this episode. It was a build-up episode, and I like the relationship. It's almost like Thor and Loki, where she's tired of his shit.
You would compare it to Thor and Loki?
Yeah, because she has a more serious attitude compared
Okay.
to Loki.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's always trying to joke around, and she's just tired of his shit. And I remember saying,
Did y'all not get a weird tension though? Like a weird
sexual.
Okay, I kind of did. And I'm like,
Yes, it was weird.
it was there.
Someone
I was
said
like-
it. Good.
Is this like the ultimate form of narcissism that you can fall in love with?
I mean, there were moments where they were looking at each other, and I'm like, is he going to?
That's the
I
whole
mean,
enchantment
You know
thing.
what? And she did
Yeah.
mention she was more hedonistic than him. So, I mean, for God's sake, we all.
You heard it here, folks,
Oh
man. What
my
is,
God.
is there a term for that? Like, because we got confirmation he's gender fluid. We got further confirmation in this episode he's bisexual. I don't know. We might get a trifecta. Who knows?
Trifecta.
Yeah, with whatever. I don't know what. I guess there's no sexuality involved where like you see a alternate reality version of yourself, but they might coin the term in Marvel. They'll say he's identity sexual. I don't know. You heard it here, folks.
Sure.
Oh,
It makes me wonder what species she is, because Loki is a frost giant. So I wonder what species she might be, because she might be a different species from the Loki that we have.
Again,
Might not be Loki at all.
he might not be
Oh,
Loki.
It might not be Loki.
But she
we know
knows
it's
that.
David-
She
yeah.
knows that.
Right.
Loki doesn't know that.
If she's not Loki either, why even have this persona of trying to be like Loki?
Watch
She
it
has
be
the
his
horns
mom.
on her head. She
Watch
has
it be his
the
mom.
mom.
Watch it be the mom. Watch it be the mom. A younger
You know,
version.
Oh,
of the mom,
stop.
dude.
Oh,
I
my
low-key got Loki. I
Loki.
kind of got
Oh.
vibes about that.
Being the mom.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like he was talking about like, oh, my mom taught me the magic, and she's like, interesting. I never knew my mother. And it's
You
like,
think it's
oh, okay.
Frigga?
Yeah.
A different version of Frigga.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Loki wears that armor. He was inspired by her as a kid. I mean, hey,
It's a
Man.
stretch,
Anybody who reads
man.
the
I'm
comics,
not
I mean, it's a
sold.
stretch.
It's a stretch.
I
But I
mean,
already
it's
have my
possible.
theory on.
It is
It's
possible. It
possible.
is possible.
They
Right.
they ran through love, and they ran through a theme of love in here too. And I mean, who knows? It could be a little Oedipus Rex. Was it Oedipus
Right.
Rex? I think.
That could bring
Oh
down.
my
no,
God.
Oedipus
God.
complex.
No.
Ew.
No,
Oh
it's
my
no.
God.
Stop it! It's an actual
No,
term.
it's a term.
No,
It is-
no,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
We were saying ill just to the.
Just the
I don't know
term.
the
It's a
notion.
gross
But
story.
wasn't it confirmed by the TVA that's Loki?
Okay, so in the dialogue, I'll point this out since we all seem pretty adamant that this is not Loki. Even if she's not Loki, she's been being referred to as Loki
A lot.
for a good amount of her life because
Right.
you saw her reaction. She's like, "Don't call me that," you know.
It's not like
why is
something
she-
that if you hear it, it would piss you off because
Exactly.
people call you that.
Exactly. Why is she being referred to as Loki? Even if she's not Loki, she has some tie to the actual Loki of her timeline, or just
Right.
Loki in general. And I mean, the look is still modeled after Loki, or maybe they pull from the same. But if she's not Loki, there's still some deep connection between her and Loki.
For
Is-
sure. Yeah.
Is
I just
there-
don't know
is
where
there
the
a-
heck it could be or what.
I mean, so
there a
I'm just
certain
gonna
version
jump
of-
into. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, cause y'all mentioned the whole like Thor and Loki thing. Is there a certain version of maybe Thor that might be like maybe in her universe, Loki
Oh.
died, so she kind of took on that persona of Loki, or I don't know. You know what I mean?
I mean, there are different like gender versions of other characters. There's a female Thor in the
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah, but that's a different. That's a different.
Yeah,
character.
yeah. But like since we're doing all this like dimension hopping, time hopping stuff, I mean, maybe Philos is onto something. Maybe it's a version of Thor that maybe looked up to his brother and
Yeah.
he's now
I mean,
this version of Loki.
because we don't really. I don't know if maybe you guys picked it up, but I don't really know her motive as far as what she's doing.
We don't know.
I know what she's trying to do, but I don't know her motive as far as like, okay, why is she trying to, meet the timekeepers? Like maybe it's like the whole thing going back to, I think Darce said it, as far as losing her Toasty said it, that
Toasty, yeah.
the destruction, of her home planet. She ran away. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she kept her cards close to her chest in this one. I mean, because the most we got was like how their magic differs too. Loki's more of a shapeshifter, and he has like the dagger knives.
He's like
Slyvie,
illusionist.
she enchants people, but when she does it, she still has that green tint to her magic when it activates. So again, it's very similar to Loki. Loki has like a very a green themed aura to him. So
Real quick, since we're on the topic of Loki's powers, how the heck did he stop that building from falling?
that
Thank
was
you.
BS. That was BS.
Thank you for calling that out,
Thank
because
you.
I'm sitting here
Yeah,
like,
I didn't understand that. I was waiting for somebody. to
Well, I was
explain.
gonna bring up power level throughout the whole season. of Loki. I know when he's in TVA. I know when he's in TVA, he can't use his powers, but it's been some questionable moments where I'm like, okay, where is his power at right now? When is he gonna kick it in? And then he, I don't know, moves a whole building back up.
Yeah, what
whole
was that?
building.
What was that?
I kind of have a
always
theory
had
on
it.
this, but I'll let you guys continue.
You think he took a stone?
Yes.
Oh,
He could
Wow.
have, but
I-
There was
I
no
think-
green.
He could
It
have
was-
taken everything. Yeah,
the
he
whole
used it-
drawer just put it in his
Dude, they
pocket.
said they just have them lying around using them for paperweight or something over there.
Yeah.
So he's probably walking around with a pocket full of those.
I mean,
So
they
I
said,
mean,
Yeah.
that's true. It could be
Ah.
something at the end
that's
where
a really
he
good point.
because they're trapped there, at the end of the episode.
Mhm.
So he might use something with the stones he has in his pocket. Say, oh well, I didn't want to have to use these because they'll probably figure out where we are. The TVA. I don't know. But
I think that when Sylvie fell asleep, he learned how to do some of the enchantment magic and put her in a little bit of a magical daze or something.
Inception.
So she thinks they're trapped.
That's what Philo
Things
said in
are
the
trapped,
beginning.
'cause
Yeah.
I don't think that thing is broken. Because if
Right.
he hides it, with an illusion, I don't think it's gonna break, inside of there. So that means when he falls, he's gonna fall on a knife like 1,000 times.
Right.
And
You know,
was a
that
crazy
makes a
fall
lot
out the
of
window. I mean, they got thrown out the arc or the arc window, and I'm like, they are unscathed.
Right.
Right. It just got some dust on the clothes and
Because think about how the episode started too, as far as like the being in another world, and she's been to that planet before, and then she told Loki that all you need to do is pull from a memory, and if you pull that memory, she knows how the planet's gonna blow up or how the planet's gonna be destroyed. So if he pulled from that memory, he can like basically bring out that whole
we're on to something.
Inception.
I will say that goes to the
Okay.
extent.
I like
That goes to the extent, though,
Y'all
how
are
much
smart.
time she spent on the planet. If she stayed on to the apocalyptic moment,
Time is relative. Time means nothing in this show. Have we not
It's not.
established that?
I guess. Oh, I guess yeah, the theory works. It does work. It's a good theory.
I mean, I will be disappointed if it's not. Like, I can maybe forgive this episode if what we just talked about right now is actually what happened, because then that would explain, oh, Loki made like a boring ass dream. That's why episode 3 was so ass. But if it's not, if I don't know. I like this theory. I like it.
Let me present something that might save it as well.
Go ahead.
Since it's a multiverse, Mobius jumps in Lightning McQueen car and drives off.
I like it.
Good
Keep
job.
going.
Enough.
No, don't let GrandMasterHoop
Enough.
stop you. Keep going. Keep going.
Enough. You telling me
Good job.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe they share a multiverse with Pixar?
That'd be wild.
Yes.
And of all
That'd be
of
wild.
all,
Yes.
of all the Pixar, you have the anthropomorphic world of the talking cars.
It's the one that makes the most sense. Yes.
No. That's so that no. Please stop.
Is that where you draw the line?
So that's where you draw the line
at-
with
at-
multiverse. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So you're willing to accept talking toys. You're willing to accept
That's Pixar. Let Pixar be Pixar. The most I take is Spider-Ham in his world.
Spider-Ham?
Are you
Spider-Ham.
serious?
From the Spider-Verse?
You're willing
Yeah,
to take
that's the Spider-Man.
Spider-Ham over cars.
Yes.
Ciao.
That's
You're
fair.
you're
But
ridiculous.
speaking of multiverse, I think that might be a reason as to why like the motive behind Sylvie. And when she in the last episode dropped all of those like time grenades or whatever they were, she created a bunch of different like multiverses along the timeline. And I think it's to save her own multiverse, cause a little chaos, and like to save her like lineage, so that way she can actually live and survive. So it could be.
Okay.
And I think, speaking of Sylvie, I'm saying it now. I'm calling it out. I'm pretty sure she's the Enchantress, which is a character in Marvel lore. And the way that they're writing her in is that she's a variant that turns into Enchantress. So she's
So the
technically a
Enchantress.
version of Loki.
So
that
the
turns into-
Enchantress. Yeah.
You don't say enchant like 5 times in
the
this
whole episode. Enchant.
I enchant them. It's not magic.
enchant.
Actually, quick question. Who's the Enchantress? Is that different? Yeah,
Go ahead,
I have no
Darce.
idea what that character is.
It's Mary Jane when she meets Venom
Shut
for
up.
the first time.
Enough.
Mary Jane
Enough.
Watson, super spy. I knew, dude. I saw the Spider-Man video game. I knew there was something about that girl.
Yeah,
that red
no,
hair. She's
stop.
fiery, dude.
Stop.
She's fiery.
Stop.
No, but the Enchantress in like I think it's Nordic mythology, she's kind of like the Aphrodite, right? So you have
Okay.
Thor, the god of thunder, Loki, the mischief god. Enchantress is
Amora.
kind of like the god of love, so she kind of will enchant people to do like
Forbidding.
in a way.
So is she actually tied though to Norse mythology, like
Yeah,
Yes,
her real
yeah,
name is
okay.
Amora.
Amora?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
Or the
That would-
Enchantress.
But
That
she
would make
took on the
sense.
name Sylvie though.
She did. She takes on the alias Sylvia when she's it's like a second variation of Enchantress in the comics.
Yes.
Okay.
actually, that would make sense. She also told Loki she was more hedonistic than him. She likes to mess around.
Right.
And
Okay.
you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That's like an
That
Aphrodite.
actually-
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so in mythology, or because I get a lot of Nordic mythology and Thor mythology mixed up, but like in that mythology, she's very much hedonistic and tries to like go and get pleasures of different kinds and woo different people. But there's one person that her magic doesn't work on for some reason, and that's Thor. Thor, like, she's always wanted to get with Thor, and Thor's like, nah, Trick, stay away. And she's like, come on, you know you want me. I'm a goddess of love. And he's like, nah, not today, Satan. And so she is like always like plotting and scheming and trying to get ways to get with Thor and stuff. And she even like has Loki help her to like, you know, do some mischievous stuff and to like kind of trick Thor into doing stuff. But the way that the MCU is taking it, it could be a totally different route of her just being a mischief maker, enchantress, causing the multiverse to happen.
She could come up in Thor God of Thunder, or Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. I think that this is going to be a segue into Love and Thunder.
That could be a good one.
It could be. I mean, he did. Kevin Feige. We mentioned it before. He did say Loki would have the most. The show Loki would have the most impact on the MCU compared to the previous shows.
I'm waiting because this last episode it didn't give us anything.
I know. Yeah, we still have 3. There's still 3 weeks left. So here's to hoping we get more. I mean, okay, see, we did get nuggets of information in this week's episode. So it wasn't a total bust. One of them, of course, we mentioned it earlier, the TVA. I think it was Sylvie. She was mentioning that she went into the memory of one of the guards from the TVA. I already forgot her name. She's an NPC. I don't know.
She's a number.
The black girl.
Yes, one of
the
them.
third black girl.
The third one, yeah, because there's a couple, Toasty.
I don't see colors, my man.
Oh my goodness! Stop this, man! Stop this, man!
Oh my god! But her, right? So we find out that she went into the memories of that girl all the way to when she used to live on Earth, and that established that people in the TVA are variants, which contradicts what Mobius told Loki earlier in episode 1. The big question is, was Mobius lying, like intentionally, like he knows that that's not true? Or is he just as bamboozled as everyone else? I don't know. Bamboozled?
I think that he knows.
You think he knows?
Because he keeps on saying like, oh yeah, we'll get you a meeting with the timekeepers. Just do wait.
Just wait. Ka-chow. Just wait.
I think definitely Mobius and Ravonna know more than they've been letting on, for sure. You know,
I think like, Ravonna knows the timekeepers are a joke. Like they're the Otzels of their universe.
Why it seems relatively easy to go meet the timekeepers. It's an elevator that seems unguarded, and it's an elevator. Shouldn't it be a little more difficult to get to the timekeepers? I just feel, those two, definitely know a lot more than what's actually going on. And I don't know, it just begs the question, it's like, what does she want with the timekeepers? Because she doesn't want to overthrow them, as she already mentioned. And what it's like, and we understand that she might be doing it for her timeline, but then it's like, what can they actually do for her that a reset bomb can't do? Or, you know,
I think Philos has a theory.
I don't have a theory. I just, since we're speaking about what Renslayer, whatever you want to call her, and Mobius, you guys picked up the chemistry between them two, right?
Yeah, they've known each other prior.
Yeah. Okay, but isn't she kind of in a chemistry with Kong the Conqueror? Do you guys think like
Kang
might be
not confirmed,
Kang.
but in the comics, but not confirmed in the universe yet. Sylvie could be running from Kang the Conqueror. Yeah, that's
do you think like maybe he could be a variant from that Mobius?
You think Mobius is a variant of Kang the Conqueror?
Interesting.
I mean,
it's not off the table.
It's not off the table. Yeah.
I mean, technically, Kang is human. He's just from super far,
way far in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know though. Like you know, they don't as a employee or whatever of TVA, they don't, like Lady Loki said that they don't know that they were variants.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Kang was a variant, and
he wouldn't have never gotten to live out his Kang days if he was a variant.
No, but they still would have that chemistry because she would know.
Well, again, if they are all, you know, humans, or, you know, they probably pulled agents from wherever. They might have known each other prior to them being agents.
Yeah.
of the
Well, she still has
TVA.
to answer to somebody. So who is she answering to? We don't know
Correct.
if it's the timekeepers.
I was just throwing that
And I
out
mean,
there.
she can have different
Yeah,
love interests throughout
possible.
her time, you know.
I mean,
Right.
time
But
is-
time
time
is
doesn't
Loki
irrelevant.
exist.
and her were
Time
love
doesn't
interests in
time
the
doesn't
past.
exist. So yeah.
Also, did you? I know in the first episode that kid had like that gum that turned his mouth blue. I kind of took that as a nod to like blue people coming pretty soon. Other than the
Kree?
Kree, yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Wait,
I mean,
who?
I think it's alluding to
Nightcrawler?
Kang. Is it Kang blue?
Kang, I mean, it's weird. Yes,
think
Kang
he's
is
blue.
blue, but it's like he's still human. I don't know why he's blue.
He chewed too much of that gum. Violet,
No.
turning violet.
It could be something silly.
Stop.
You never know.
Why do
Listen,
y'all like-
man, MCU does this all the time. You're telling me
Nick
after
Fury's eye.
WandaVision,
Nick Fury's eye. I mean,
Nick,
Oh,
exactly.
some fake out like that? You
Yes.
really think they're gonna
Nothing.
choose some gum like Violet Beauregard? And that be the reason why this
Listen.
man is blue?
They have a track record of doing this nonsense.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think they're gonna do it.
Oh my god.
But now I have a theory on the timekeepers, and once I say this theory, it might change everybody's perspective on Loki moving forward. Are you guys open to it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I
Yeah, go
think
for it.
that the three timekeepers are Wanda, Doctor Strange, and Loki himself. They're
Why?
probably some
Go
of the
on.
most powerful beings in the universe. Doctor Strange controls time right now. Wanda is one of the most powerful creatures ever, and she creates different realities and stuff. And Loki right now is finding his purpose through the TSA.
Glorious purpose.
His
Strange-
glorious
Doctor-
purpose.
That
Doctor
is
Strange-
a glorious purpose.
Doctor Strange got his
Wait.
chain yanked by Thanos. So
Yeah, he doesn't
Somewhat
have the
powerful.
power of time though.
But he's
I mean,
Sorcerer Supreme.
he's supposed to. He's,
Maybe.
I'm just saying he doesn't have direct time as far as the time stone's concerned.
Right, and maybe he now without that power has to be balanced out. He finds a different way of using time magic.
Okay.
nothing's off the table.
Right. I'm not completely sold on it, but it can happen. It can happen. I mean, listen, man, anyone's guess at this point is fair game, because clearly these writers haven't told us jack for 3 episodes. Small stuff. But
Well, actually, see, I thought you were gonna say Tony Stark as instead of Loki, because
Tony Stark as one of the timekeepers. Are
Tony
you
Stark,
serious?
the genius who figured out time travel within this realm, the human.
Oh, that's a
amazing
good
human.
point.
Ah,
I'm just saying, yeah, a
And it
very
seems like the
Mm,
TSA TVA is filled with a bunch of humans. So
It is
it
filled
makes
with a bunch
of
sense
humans. I
that
do
blue
see
time
that.
lizards are actually 3 humans with disguises.
a
Huh.
variant Tony Stark can still make time travel happen.
so we saying that the TVA was created just so Tony Stark and Loki can become the head of the TVA. So it's who come first, the egg or the chicken? Because I was to say, that remind me of the Family Guy episode where Brian and Stewie did the Big Bang, and they said that the universe created them to create the universe. That's the theory we have right now.
that's what they're basing it off of, a Family Guy episode.
Yeah,
My man,
makes
what
sense.
should be wrong?
Listen, all of these are sound except the Family Guy part.
Oh my god.
everything's
Sounds like
on
a
the
hater
table.
to me.
That means
Everything's on the
that means
table.
Lightning McQueen's still on the table.
No,
It is still on the
it's
table.
not.
No, don't you
Still on the
dare!
table.
Don't you dare!
100%.
It's
It's
not
100%.
on
still
this
on the-
table.
What are you gonna say next? Shrek's not on the table?
Shut the hell up! What does that even mean?
Hey,
All
Shrek is
right.
green too. Loki's green. And
Shrek-
Janus is
The
green.
Hulk is green. Right?
The Hulk
is green.
Ethan.
Yeah, we have a giant green man in that universe. We can have another one.
We have green race
There we
of
go.
people with the scrolls. We have Hulk. We have Loki. We have Sylvie. We
Oh my
have
gosh.
the green
Shrek
magic.
is a scroll.
Yep.
Shrek is a
Exactly.
scroll.
Yep.
All we need is
Star-
one
Starsky and
obese
Husk.
one that loves onions.
He's a super
That's all we
scroll.
need.
Starsky, are you saying Owen Wilson's other films?
If Hawk doesn't come and slam Sylvia like she did Loki, then she's not Lady Loki.
That's fair.
All right. These
Kinky?
fists are rated E for everyone. I like it.
Oh, all right.
I guess this was not in the episode, and I think we might have talked about it before, but this is like outside content. Tara Strong, who voices Miss Minutes, she did say that there's more to Miss Minutes than meets the eye. Now, whether that means it's going to be a big reveal for Miss Minutes, or there's like, I don't know, she's involved somehow with the timekeepers. Maybe she is a timekeeper. I don't know. But I don't count that as being part of the episode because you heard that outside of the episode. So I don't know. I mean, I've always liked, Tara Strong just in general. So just by that alone, I was already like, my eyes homed in on Miss Minute to be like, okay, what's her deal? Because Tara Strong is not just going to voice some NPC. So what's going on with this character? And she pretty much revealed, pay attention to her because she's gonna drop a bomb at some point. I don't know how she's gonna do it, because they did reveal last week that recording. She didn't say that she was a recording, and she didn't say that she was alive. It's kind of like a mix of both in a way.
She's a sentient mind, if anything.
Yes.
Not necessarily a real body, but the mind is ever growing, and yeah.
Right. Right. Darce, were you gonna mention something?
No, I think she's an Autobot. She's a Beast Wars.
Beast. Yes, right. Beast Wars was confirmed for Transformers.
Inviting foolery into here.
What do you guys think about like the fact that Black Widow was kind of dropped in the middle of this, or like close to the end of Loki?
No, it Black Widow premieres the following Friday after the Loki premiere.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's genius.
It is, yeah. How it
ties in?
No,
because it was supposed to come out last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it got delayed because of COVID.
They might throw a post credit. Right? They might throw a post credit scene here or there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe like a post credit scene in
maybe. Yeah,
a post credit scene in Loki.
Black Widow.
No, in Black Widow.
A post credit scene in Black Widow to lead into what though?
Whatever.
Maybe the end of
something.
End of Loki. I don't know.
However, Loki ends, whatever happens to him, maybe because we know Black Widow's dead, so maybe there's something at the end of this Black Widow because. Dead? Spoiler alert.
What? No, no.
Oh no.
No, she is not dead.
Theory.
Oh boy. Here we go.
We are in variants, so I mean.
Now you got me thinking, what if Loki at the end of this whole thing starts running around and creating variants of dead people, dead heroes?
I mean, that could get you Gamora back, right? But, I mean,
would that take away from the deaths of those characters when they happen?
Absolutely.
Do we want to see Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. back after?
Not necessarily Iron Man. Let the man rest. But I don't know, Quicksilver, Black Widow, Gamora.
Okay.
Just an idea. I don't care to run with it.
Well, two of those people are in a variant of a Soul Stone, no?
Right. But I mean, that brings up a good point. Is Gamora considered a variant? Because she's not.
She is totally a variant. No, she's not.
She's a variant if you're something. If you do something you're not supposed to do, right?
And the Avengers were supposed to do all of that.
Right.
They confirmed that, or at least that's what they told us.
That's what they. Yeah, that's right. Because on paper you would think, that whole cast of Avengers are variants. Like they screwed up the timeline. But
yes, because the TVA would have came out in numbers and been like, Thanos, you're not supposed to be here. You gotta go.
Boom.
But wait, what the Avengers did was allowed, but what Thanos did, was that allowed? Because Thanos.
Yes.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have brought everybody back and snapped without Thanos coming for their ass.
At least as far as we know.
Right. But then again,
I hate time. It
TVA
my head, man.
Yeah.
It's time travel, TVA line. By the end, hopefully we understand everything that the TVA is doing, but at this point,
we won't.
We won't.
No,
yeah,
we were never intended to understand it.
It's time travel.
But with the new slate of movies that are coming out, what is going to lead to Spider-Man coming out in December?
Nothing. Sony sucks, so nothing.
Come on, man. You're not excited for Let There Be Carnage?
Ew, no, not that.
No, you're talking about No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Oh, of course.
No, I just mean I don't think I think Sony at best plays. They're like, hey, what's going on in the MCU so we can set up our next film. And they're like, okay,
they have to tie in the strangers of the multiverse.
They do. So Marvel gives them a checkbox, and then Sony is like, okay, that gives us this wiggle room, right? We can play around here, time variance, multiverse. We can bring in Venom. They're like, please don't. And then Sony's just like, I don't know. It sounds like wiggle room. So I don't think Sony really. They do the checkbox of what has to happen, and then they're like, they just go ahead and do whatever the hell they want, to the point where whatever happens in a Spider-Man film, if it doesn't tie back to MCU, it don't count. It don't matter.
So Venom doesn't count. We know
Venom does not matter.
It shouldn't.
I sense that you're a Venom hater in a way. Is that 100% confirmed?
I just like to point out this real quick. We are now talking about other things because this episode was not worthwhile to keep our attention.
Save it for next time.
No, the Venom.
Dodging the question.
No, I'm not. Venom is trash. There you go.
The movie is, the character
was trash. Yes.
Yeah, it is bad. Entertaining, but it's bad.
It is.
There's no Venom without Spider-Man. That's stupid.
Fair enough. Aside from Sylvie, TVA nonsense, no Ka-Chow this episode. We left Loki, and Sylvie stranded on. It's called Lamentis 1, right? That's what it's called. I don't know if that planet has any ties to, like Marvel lore. Like, because I saw the title, I'm like, oh wow, maybe that's a Marvel thing. I don't know. But they kind of built it up a little bit, but then they're like, oh, but it's going to be destroyed, so who really cares? So they're stuck there seemingly, but I think we talked about it earlier. It could just be a dream within a dream. It could be something that Loki is kind of manipulating in Sylvie's mind to make it seem like, oh, we're all going to die, everything's destroyed, might as well tell me all your secrets because we're not getting out of here. And I can see that happening, but if it doesn't, how do we think they're getting off this planet? Like, does Mobius have to come in and save him, or Infinity Stones in his pocket? I don't know. It was a cliffhanger ending. We don't know how they're gonna get off that planet. I don't know if any of you had thoughts on that.
I still think it's a dream.
Maybe it's a setup for a new character, a new superhero.
You don't need a new superhero right now. You need a new superhero
every episode.
No, you don't. That's bad writing.
Kang comes to save them in its time machine.
We're gonna get a new hero on episode 4 of a 6-part series.
Maybe,
yes.
But I think I think it might be like a setup for future movies. Like you said earlier, they wouldn't plan out this whole world just to destroy it in one episode. I think it's gonna be.
The world is gone.
Huh? But they might save it.
It's an apocalypse.
They might stop
what happens to the planet before the apocalypse?
Yeah.
That's in 2077.
And that's not too far away in the future.
I mean, I just looked it up. There's nothing on this planet other than it's on the edge of Kree space. So unless they want to bring it in the Captain Marvel movie, or the Marvels, I can't imagine it having any other significance.
The name of the planet itself is kind of giving it away, like Lamentis. Like the planet was meant to be a lament, like to be sad, like that it's gonna die.
Okay.
I have a random theory that Kang the Conqueror did most of the apocalypse we see in this Loki world.
Like in the future, these future apocalypses.
Any a time that he's done most that he's done most of them. Because that's what he does. He rips through the timeline. So that's my guess on when Kang's gonna like it eventually. My guess.
I mean, I don't know too much about Kang. Like does he just do that for no reason? Like does he just like appear like does he do it for the lols? Like appear in 2085 and say, "All right, I'm causing a tsunami here."
He basically just travels around time in hopes a butterfly effect will happen to fix his timeline.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And predominantly, he blames the Avengers for a lot of the crap that happened in his timeline.
I mean, is it like a post-apocalyptic place that he lives? Is that why he's so pissed?
No.
He lives in a giant spaceship.
Oh,
I thought the reason why he's doing it is to save his lover, isn't it?
That's like the one main thing that was
Right.
And like, for example, if you ever watched the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes
gross. Never.
show,
But go
no,
on.
that show's really good.
Go on.
It's don't do that. It's really accurate to the comics. A lot of the stories. Captain America coming out of the ice was a giant ripple effect that King the Conqueror was pissed about. That made Ravonna Renslayer die.
It was in the show.
Show comics, yada.
Oh, okay.
everything.
Okay.
But with that said, I mean, if the TVA can pinpoint where Loki is, they'll get him out of that planet.
Okay.
I mean,
do
pretty
they have
easy.
reason to get him out? I mean, I'd imagine. Well, that's the thing. Would the TVA even bother? Like,
Yeah, they
coming
have
in
a
to pull
lot on
them
their
out?
plate right now. They have a bunch of
Yeah.
different timelines that are.
They have a bunch, and they've been trying to get both of, well, mainly Sylvie, who they think is a variant Loki, but if she's gonna die on this planet, why bother coming in to save her? I guess to question her, say, what was your plan? What were you trying to do? But
If she's dead, there's no more plan. So kill two
Yeah.
birds with one stone. Loki and she died. Okay,
Well,
moving on with our day.
Yeah, and if Loki's part of the bigger picture, then they'll pull him. They'll pull Loki back, because they left
Right.
Ravonna. Ravonna was right there. Ravonna. I mess it up all the time.
Rihanna,
It's okay.
yeah.
It's
Right.
okay.
I mean, that's basically it with the episode. I mean, we tried to make it. We tried to spice it up
we
a
got some
bit.
good
I got a
combo
Yeah, it's
out
good
of this.
content.
We got
Yeah,
some
definitely
good
got-
content.
Definitely got cooked
Right.
more than the episode.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think we made the episode more interesting than it actually was as we were watching it. Loki's bisexual, new lore. All right, cool stuff.
Shout out to Loki singing too. I really enjoyed.
I was not expecting that. That's right. Loki singing
another.
Asgardian, and
And
another.
another.
Good stuff.
We'll be doing that all weekend.
Pretty much.
How did
singing
that
song.
person learn the song so easy though?
They were singing along. Yeah.
Enchanting.
But he
Not
can't.
his
He
dream
cannot.
anyway.
Oh, okay.
There we
it's
go.
not his
We
dream.
got some
Okay.
clues.
All right.
Those
All
theories
right.
that sound a little more possible.
That's true. That's true.
Plus, doesn't it take a lot for an Asgardian to get drunk? Like Thor has to drink like barrels of mead in order to get drunk.
But we,
But,
I think they have that on
But
that.
Loki,
screen.
Loki's not an
a frost
Asgardian.
giant.
Ah,
Yeah,
true.
he's a frost giant.
he's
He's a
adopted.
frost giant. That's
But
right.
also Loki's too calculated to just get drunk. On
yeah,
a
I felt
whim.
like that was kind
Yeah,
of
see,
off
And then as soon as he
character.
gets thrown off a train, he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm sober."
All right, I like the dream theory then.
I liked it.
Oh,
we're
now you
calling it
like it.
now.
I
do. Well, now can you accept the Shrek one and the Cars one since we're on the same boat? No.
Shrek is usually in my dreams.
Oh,
That's-
all right.
There
That
you go.
that sounds like a great time.
You guys never heard of Shrek is Love? Shrek is never mind. All right, well,
Yes,
Oh,
I
God.
have.
Oh,
Just I
my
haven't.
God. That's like Dr. J's favorite movie. Like,
Bro,
What's
it's a
his favorite
timeless
movie?
classic. It's a timeless classic.
What's his favorite movie? Oh, Shrek. Oh yeah.
Shrek. Yes,
Mhm.
Shrek is amazing. I know you like Shrek 4, Grandmaster, for whatever reason, but
No,
we don't have time for that this
That's-
you
week.
don't have to be shy. Just say it.
I don't.
But yeah, all right. I would say that wraps up what we have to say about the episode. Any final thoughts? I know we got theories. Just keep the train going, man. Make this episode make episode 5. No, 4. This is episode 3.
Four.
That's right. Make episode 4. Pick up the pace, man. Like we only have 3 left. I want to be hyped for Loki the way I was hyped every week for Falcon and Winter Soldier. And that had the same amount of episodes until, the end, but we already talked about that. But all right. Good talk, everyone. I like it. With that,
Ka-chow.
ka-chow. I wish I could end it there, but I have to put the shameless plug. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Yonkō Table or at the Yonkō Table. You'll find it eventually. There's only 2 options. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a thought, comment, tell us what you guys think about this episode? Was it doo-doo? Did you like it? Are your standards low, high? We want to know as well. But that's it for this week's episode of the Yonkō Table. I'm your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, fellow Supernova Darce, fellow Supernova Rose the Crafter, Supernova Toasty, and new and up-and-coming Supernova Philos. Signing off. Take care, everyone.